Welcome to Poland Daily Travel, where once again we head around Warsaw behind the scenes. We'll be traversing the hidden byways of today to remember the events of yesterday. In the next few episodes, we'll go deep into history to discover moments of past terror and present redemption as we look at some of Warsaw's most harrowing moments. Memories of the Warsaw Ghetto of World War II, when the Nazi occupation made killing zones out of once thriving neighborhoods. For more so than any other city in Europe, Warsaw has seen and felt the 20th century's events at their worst and at their best. From the depths of World War II to the heights of the Solidarity movement, Warsaw has witnessed hideous destruction and glorious rebirth. One might say, in fact, there's no other city like it in the world, and in that sense, this metropolis remains the most human of places, given to fits and starts of soul-crushing violence in its past, along with moments of sheer exuberance as it stretches its vital limbs into the future, into the 21st century.
So yeah, the thing that I find so amazing is that in the last days of the Jewish ghetto, up until the last week, there are diaries, journals that appeared that talk about people having dances and girls putting on makeup, the men in their best dresses, the men dressing up with a tie and a coat, and carrying on with this normal life, even in extreme circumstances. Yeah?
Yes.
Had you heard of that before? Did you know about
Absolutely.
that?
I know about
because
that.
Not a lot of people know
one
that.
Of the most difficult things to imagine. And then you understand why those old ladies that have suffered so much in World War II always put up their makeup until the very last day of them, you know, even 80 years later. They really care about themselves because they enjoy every single minute of their life.
Enjoy every day. And be ready for those days. It's a great lesson in this day and age when we complain so much about
nothing.
We're surrounded by miracles. Absolute miracles, including the juk, of course.
Well, and all other technology that we love so much.
These things that we have, these phones and whatever.
But look at that. This monument is
what is this all
different.
about? Because it's
about this dignity, you know. It's about this personality of people. It's similar to what we were talking a minute ago. Yes, it is putting a name to every person that we can put a name to. Here you have a long list of names and pseudonyms. Sometimes
names
only
and
the
pseudonyms,
yeah. Pseudonyms, yeah.
Adopted names, yes.
Adopted names, yes.
By soldiers or combatants, or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
By people who are inside this area here, who are victims of here, and for us it is important to remember them in person. For them we have some pictures. We know how they look like. For other people, we have only the remembrance of their comrades who are with us even today. But now, in these days, they are dying. So by the moment you display this or you watch this on YouTube, some more might have gone. Yes, it happens every day.
These people are dying away, and soon there will be no survivors of either the Jewish ghetto uprising or the Warsaw uprising.
And we take it as a symbol, you know, we take this stone as a symbol because we know that there were several hundred hideouts like that which have been taken over by Germans, sometimes after very fierce fighting in here.
Yeah.
All these inscriptions are in English and in Polish and in Hebrew for everybody who's really interested to look at.
Let me read what this says here. It says, grave, this area, grave of the fighters of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, built from the rubble of Miła Street. That's the street we're on. One of the liveliest streets of pre-war Jewish Warsaw. These ruins of the bunker at 18 Miła Street are the place of rest. The place of rest of the commanders and fighters of the Jewish Combat Organization, as well as some civilians. Among them lies Mordecai Anielewicz, the commander-in-chief. On May 8th, 1943, surrounded by the Nazis, after 3 weeks of struggle, many perished or took their own lives, as you described before, refusing to die at the hands of their enemies. There were several hundred bunkers built in the ghetto, which were found and destroyed by the Nazis. They became graves. They cannot save those who fought refuge inside of them, who sought refuge inside of them. Yet they remained everlasting symbols of the Warsaw Jews and their will to live. The bunker at Miła Street was the largest in the ghetto. It is a place of rest of over 100 fighters, only some of whom, as you just said, are known by name. Here they rest, buried where they fell, to remind us that the whole earth is their grave.
Yeah, they simply have been us, you know, of only a couple of years ago. It's not even a lifespan of a person that divides us from these moments.
Hi, you're back with Poland Daily Travel, and we are standing in Maranów. We've moved on, and we are in quite a surprising place. The architecture here has secrets to tell us, and what are they, Wojtek?
Well, this is surprisingly architecture from 1950s.
Okay.
It's a time in which, you know, this country was just being built up again. It was same time in a civil war, and same time in an extreme progress. And this progress can be best seen here.
Because there was nothing here, then suddenly you have this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, it looks
And
like
how
a
did
big
it-
palace or something, doesn't it?
This word palace is a very good one to use here.
It is, okay.
It is,
I'm
it is.
glad I got it right.
The whole, yeah. Why? The whole name of the whole district is coming from a palace that was once here, a little bit more north of this place. Once upon a time in the 17th century, that's like 1680s, a quite famous Polish-Italian guy who spent most of his life in Poland, Mr. Joseph Bellotti, has made a palace in here. The
Right
guy,
here, right here.
A little bit more north of here.
Okay, but
this
it was the
like
Bellotti
this district.
Palace, was
And
it? Or?
It was not called Bellotti Palace, it was called Muranów or Murano
Oh, I think
Palace.
we're going to see where that palace used to be next, right? not?
Well, that will be a problem because right in the place in which the palace was, there is now a gigantic office building.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it's the
So we're
Intraco
not gonna
building.
see it. Okay.
We don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
But what we know from why it was called Murano, yes, it's like the small island ahead of Venice.
Yeah, because it seems
Yeah.
like an Italian
Because,
name. Yeah.
because
yeah.
the guy who was an Italian guy, was born in that small island, and he did like this fact very much, so he named a part of today's Warsaw like
after
that.
an
Yeah.
Italian island called
After the
Murano.
island, after the island he got born at. So that's, you know,
So he was born on Murano Island, and Maranów is the district where we are right now, which is just north of Śródmieście or centrum of Warsaw,
a
right?
little bit more north of Śródmieście and a little bit more west of Stare Miasto.
Okay.
That's exactly here.
Okay.
And
The Stare Miasto would be out there.
out there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is quite understandable why people have made these homes here look like a palace, yes? Especially from the front. We will go with our cameras to see the great columns, to see the great entrances towards here, and even this courtyard is just great.